Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, two topics to discuss. The fact that the California state is suing Shangri-La Development over fraud. The other thing as well is we've seen another president of the National Association of Realtors resign, and that's the third one in 6 months. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is January 9th, 2024. I'm still getting used to saying that. And there are two key things actually, one in relation to Los Angeles and the other one in relation to national real estate in the US that I thought I would talk through today. So the first one is California State is actually suing a developer who is alleging fraud after they defaulted on Project Homekey developments that they were doing. So apparently Shangri-La, I think I've actually discussed this briefly before, a development company is basically a developer. They were given money by the Project Homekey, which is a project by the state of California, giving out money to developers for creating affordable and homeless housing projects. These ones in relation to motel residences that were going to be converted into affordable housing. Now, apparently, the developer is facing bankruptcy, or sorry, they're facing foreclosures on all 7 of these motel residences that they have purchased and they're supposed to be developing. So it's Shangri-La Industries is the company that's being sued, and this is due to fraud. And effectively, they're saying that they committed fraud and breached contracts related to the conversion of these motels. These are loan defaults, and apparently the other lenders, not the kind of grant that was given by the state, are now saying they're going to foreclose on these properties on a $41 million delinquent debt that they have not paid. And so that's obviously a strange situation, because if the state has given money to this developer to develop these properties, and then suddenly the other debt that this developer's got, or the other, sorry, money that they've got in order to develop this property, the interest is not being paid on that, then obviously these banks or these lenders are going to say, right, we want these properties back because we're going to force the sale of them. So the state is in a weird situation where they've given a lot of money into these properties. However, that is going to be taken away by these lenders in that situation. So obviously there is a lawsuit that's come out. As I said, $121 million in grants was given from the Homekey program set up to help homelessness. And that was between 2020 and 2022. So relatively recently. And that apparently was about 3% of the total funds distributed for this state program. A huge amount of money if that's 3% of it. And so an investigation by the state has found violations in the operating agreements tied to the 6 homes across California. Now, the other thing which I find is interesting is apparently the developers have come back and they've said that they blame the state for the defaults. They've said that there was a failure of officials to sign these regulatory agreements that were required by the lenders. And so he also mentioned challenges with the property taxes and refinancing due to these unsigned regulatory agreements. So they're effectively turning around and saying, no, we actually blame you for not getting these documents signed, which is going to allow us to start the development, which we needed to satisfy the other lenders in the situation. So apparently the Attorney General is seeking a court order to prioritize the regulatory agreements with the state over any other lender agreement. So that means that they're turning around and saying, right, well, if this is being foreclosed on, we need to be able to get back our investment prior to the recovery of any assets or any funds by the bank foreclosing. So if you're not aware of a foreclosure, what basically it is, and I know more about it on a residential front, is if someone has got a mortgage, say for $100,000 on a property that costs them $200,000, and they're not paying the interest rate on that property, you know, they may have a 5% interest rate, for instance, they're paying $5,000 a year in interest. Now, if they haven't paid that in a certain amount of time, the lender, so normally a bank, can turn around and say, hold on, you're not paying this amount of money, therefore we need to get our $100,000 back plus the interest that you owe us. So they effectively take ownership of the property and they will sell that property to, you know, as long as they make more than $100,000. Sometimes they'll take a loss, but they normally will recoup their money from selling that property. The owner or the person that bought it does not have a say in that after a certain period of time. That can vary state to state and can vary mortgage contract to mortgage contract. contract. But that kind of is your brief overview of a foreclosure. And so in this situation, it's not just the lender that's put in money, it is also the state that's put in money. So they're trying to say, look, we need our money back. So out of that $200,000 that you'd sell it for, we want our 121 million dollars back prior to this lender getting, their $41 million out of the projects. And if those projects aren't worth that, because obviously that could have been money to develop them, so you're setting aside money to buy the properties and then getting a loan to develop, it may mean that the state loses money. And so you can see why they've launched this lawsuit. I think this is going to be an interesting one, because if these project Homekey loans continue to do this, what are the state going to do? Because effectively, they've taken a large amount of taxpayer funds in California. They've then put it into these projects that hopefully are being developed into affordable housing and solving the homelessness situation, or helping it. I don't know if that's solving it's not possible. But what happens to all that money? Is it all gone? Are they going to get some of it back? Is this a political issue again, getting involved in residential and multi-unit real estate, which we discussed I think 2 days ago, and how politics doesn't really understand the capitalist market that really real estate is, supply and demand. And is that really a place where politics should be, outstripping some of the decisions made by the personal people who own these properties? Again, a debate we're continuing, but I think this is going to be an interesting one to follow. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on it. But the other topic, which I actually got an email about probably about 2 hours ago, is the fact that the National Association of Realtors, the NAR President, Tracy Kasper, has actually resigned. Now, we've had this Sitzer Burnett trial in the past. If you aren't aware of it, I've discussed it in detail on earlier videos. But effectively, the NAR lost a lawsuit saying that they had price colluded and inflated commissions from their real estate agents. So they're kind of getting them paid far more money than they have. They've obviously colluded on prices, which is illegal. And so they got a large fine. Now, a lot of people, as we've discussed before, a lot of brokerages and agents have seen this maybe as the end of the National Association of Realtors, a place where this kind of union or group together of self-employed people is not able to have the influential power that they previously had. These debts may well, cause a situation where it doesn't exist anymore. And so we've actually seen 2 presidents previously resign, one just after this lawsuit had taken place. I believe the one previously was due to a sexual misconduct matter. So 2 different reasons. This apparently has been due to a recent threat, given significance of this moment from I'll read the statement she made. As president and a long-term member of the NAR, and she was a member of the National Association of Realtors for a long time, obviously stepped into the position of president after 2 resignations. As president and long-term member of the NAR, I always have put the interests of the NAR first. As a result of the recent threat, and given the significance of this moment for myself, my family, and the organization, it is again time for me to put the interests of the NAR first. So it is with mix of gratitude and a heavy heart that I submit my resignation as your president effectively immediately. Now, I got an email from the interim president, or the person that's stepping into that now, kind of saying thank you so much to Tracy Kasper for doing this and for being in this situation. The guy's name is Kenny Parcell. It is obviously a very broad statement, and I don't want to make any assumptions, because obviously if it's something involving her personal safety, it's a threat, and her family, that's an awful situation, and 100% she should step down. But it is amazing that 3 presidents of this organization in the last 6 months have left that position, and it ties in very closely with major changes. I mean, probably the biggest changes we've seen in self-employed real estate agents and the NAR, I don't know, since I've been in the industry, for sure. So again, it's something I'll continue to track. It'll be interesting to see if the interim president steps up and becomes the regular president, or the full-time president, or if there is another kind of election or situation where they have someone else step into that role. There's obviously a very broad general statement. We don't really have any detail. Blackmail is mentioned. So I wonder if that could be in relation somehow to this situation. whether that is blackmail by, I don't want to make any assumptions, but could be from anyone. But I thought I would mention that to you guys because it's an interesting development on this Tuesday, the 9th of January, 2024. Anyway, guys, I hope you are good wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving me your time. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. As I said, always say, if there's a topic you'd like me to discuss or to debate, I would really like to hear that in the comments below. Please subscribe, notifications, etc. That would be amazing. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.